Morning student, I am your history civics teacher. I hope you all are fine. I welcome you all on online classes of Jamna Christian Junior High School. So students, starting from the first chapter, that is the beginning of the modern age, today we will discuss some of the topics. And the first topic is periodization of history. The history of a country is usually divided into three parts. First is ancient part, second medieval, and third is modern period. This year we will learn about the modern period of history. So students, history is in most countries is classified into three periods, you all know. Each period has some characteristics like political, economic, religious and social that set it apart from other periods. The classification helped to bring a sense of order and continuity to be the confusing range or variety of historical events and processes that have taken place over centuries of evaluation. It helps to put the past into thinking about problems, to see turning points and transactions period with greater understanding and clarity. And the second point is a period of transition. Historical periods differ from country to country depending on the stage of development of that region. In Europe, the modern age started in the 15th century in India. The modern age is generally regarded as having begun in the mid 18th century. The major turning point in India's transition from the medieval to the modern age was defeat of India by the British. In the past, India had been invaded and conquered by foreigners. However, unlike the earlier conquerors, the British did not settle down and adapt to an Indian way of life. For the first time, India was ruled from outside by foreigners and subjected to an foreign rule for about 200 years. Some of the characteristics features of the modern age. They are urbanization, democratic, institutions, rationalism, industrialization, technological, advancement, fundamental, civil liberties, humanization. These are some characteristics, features of the modern age. Now the next point is source material. Compared to ancient and medieval history, the source for modern history are richer and far more diverse. Source of modern history can be divided into two parts, and the two parts are: first is primary sources and the second is secondary sources. So students, now I will tell you about the sources. First is primary sources. Primary sources are those that provide first hand accounts of an event or a period in history. Example of the primary sources are First is original documents such as official records of the British government in India. Literary work such as accounts of European residents, visitors, and Indian official novels, plays, stories, and poems by British and Indian authors of this period. Next point is historical works by contemporary history. Next, artistic work like painting, sketching, engraving, and drawing. Photographs, audio cassettes, films, and videotapes of incident and interviews of important personalities. Newspapers in both English and Indian language, archaeological remains such as monuments and artifacts, oral history. These are some points of the primary sources. Now the next point is secondary sources. Secondary sources are based on primary sources. They explain, discuss, describe, analyze, interpret, or summarize primary data. Examples of secondary sources include scholarly books such as textbooks and encyclopedias, reviews, and articles in academic magazine and journals. So students, since the modern age in India began with the arrival of the British rule, the roots of the transition from the medieval period must be traced back to Europe. To understand the impact of British rule on Indian history, it is important to understand the changes that were taking place in Europe. Now, I have explained you the two sources, and the next point is modern period in Europe. Europe entered the modern age in 15th century. Important changes had occurred by that time. Feudalization had declined, new towns had developed, trade had increased, and the rights of the individual had become stronger. Despite these changes, much of the Europeans continent still remained unfair in the 16th century. Eastern Europe remained backward till almost 18th century. Now the next topic is the Renaissance. Europe was going through turbulent and difficult times in the medieval period, maybe 600 to 1500. The Roman Empire had broken up and the attacks of the barbarian tribes had spread terror through most of Europe. Feudalism had made the life of the common people miserable. The church had become all powerful, and to strengthen its hold on the people, it discouraged any attempts at scientific experimentation and rational thinking. It was at such difficult times that the Renaissance was born. The meaning of Renaissance is rebirth or revival. In French, the Renaissance was a movement that started in Italy in the 14th century. It saw a renewed interest in the study of the classical civilization of Greece and Rome. The Renaissance thus encouraged people think for themselves and challenged the authority of the church. The Renaissance urged in revolutionary changes in Europe and marked the transition from the medieval to the modern age in Europe. The expansion of trade, the voyages of discovery by Italian merchants, their interaction with various societies and their wealth and success were all important factors that contributed the beginning of the Renaissance. Another important events with the reaching consequences was the capture of Constantinople, the capital of Byzantine Empire in 1453 by the Ottoman Turks. A large number of Greek scholars fled from Constantinople to Italy with rare manuscripts. These scholars were encouraged by the rulers, the scholars, and the rich Italian merchants of Rome, Florence, Milan, and Venice. Libraries were set up and universities were established to promote classical and modern learning. The Renaissance or the revival of classical Greco-Roman learning inspired and encouraged people to question and challenge long established ideas and institutions that have been imposed on them by the church and their kings. They refused to blindly accept the dictates of their rulers and the church. They demanded to know the truth based on logic and reason and rejected everything that did not fall within the yardsticks of reason. This new spirit of rationalism led to the rise of a scientific temper and the spirit of inquiry. This scientific temper and the desire to inquiry or seek the truth led to new and varied developments in the field of art, architecture, sculpture, painting, literature, science, technology, explorations, and discoveries. Renaissance scholars and thinkers shifted the focus from divine affairs to human affairs. The spirit of humanism was central to the new learning medieval preoccupation with religion. After life, heaven and hell was replaced with a deep and abiding interest in human affairs, their joys and sorrows, desires and fulfillment, freedom, and creativity in this life. The spirit of Renaissance period found expression in every aspect of human life. This period saw a great outburst of creativity and brilliance. Now, the next topic is voyages of discovery. The voyages of discovery. Till the 15th century, the centuries old trade between the East and the West was controlled by the Arabs. The Arabs used to take spices, textiles, sugar, indigo from India and other ancient countries by sea to port on the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. The goods were then carried over land to Europe, but the rise of the Turks in the West India in 1453 disrupted this well established trade. Goods could not no longer be taken safely over land to Europe. This pushed the seafaring countries of Europe like Portugal, Spain, and England to discover a sea route to India and the East. In the mid 15th century, the Ottoman Turks captured Asia Minor and cut off direct land links between Asia and Europe. The Turks also took control of the main ports of the eastern Mediterranean Sea, raided European ships, and imposed heavy taxes on goods passing through their lands. This was a great blow to European trade with the East. It gave rise to an urgent need to find an alternate sea route to the East. Great voyages of exploration were undertaken, leading to great discovery of new routes and new lands. Now I will tell you some important discoveries. And they are: in the 15th century, a Portuguese prince, the first Portuguese prince is Henry the Navigator, sent out several journeys to explore the west coast of Africa. He prepared map based on these exploration. In 1488, an expedition led by Bartholomew Diaz reached the southern tip of the African continent. Thus later came to be known as the Cape of Good Hope, because the prospects of finding India seems bright. In 1497, another Portuguese explorer, Vasco da Gama, navigator, rounded the Cape of Good Hope and reached Calicut in the western coast of India in 1948. He thus established a direct route between Europe and India. Vasco da Gama discovered the sea routes to India, which became an important trade route for other foreign powers to reach India. Magellan, 1480 to 1521, a Portuguese sailor in the service of Spain, set out on an expedition to find the Spice Island. His ship sailed around the world to come back to Cadiz, the very point from where the expeditions had started. This expedition thus proved that the world was round. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, an Italian sailor living in Spain, sailed westward from Europe with the aid of the king and the queen of Spain. Columbus was sure that he could reach the east if he sailed westward from Europe. After sailing westward across the Atlantic Ocean for 2 months, he landed on the Caribbean islands of Central America. He undertook more voyages and discovered several more islands in the Caribbean Sea and along the coast of Venezuela. Until his death, Columbus believed that he had found a route to the east. Little did he know that he had actually discovered America, a new continent. Spain and Portugal divided the newly discovered island in the east and the west between themselves. So students, now we are going to stop here, this topic, and we will continue this topic in the other class. Thank you students. Stay safe at home. Have a nice day.